welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, as we see what's going on a lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where I hope you all had a lovely Halloween last night, and I need to cough. Well, I don't know if you're the age to go trick-or-treating, and even if you're not, maybe you had a fun time anyway, who knows. But yeah, hope you had a spooky Halloween over. Now it's, of course, everyone knows it's the Christmas month, and you might be like, dear darling, it's only November. Well, why are there Christmas decorations being sold in the supermarkets? Yeah, obviously, you know, Christmas gets earlier and earlier. Like, I actually, you know, it was even crazy. I was in a shopping centre, like, over last weekend, and there was Christmas decorations being sold in some of the shops, and I was like, what? But anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, 6:05 PM on Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. Excuse me, I want to cough again. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about it today. We're actually going to talk about something else I did actually over the weekend, which I was going to talk about yesterday, but of course yesterday was Halloween, so couldn't talk about that. I was going to talk about Taco Bell. Well, not specifically Taco Bell, but, you know, like, I suppose quesadillas, or that will probably be the title of today's episode, in sort of like in general, because if you're American, you know, Taco Bell is probably quite a big fast food place for you. It's quite common, you know, you'd be like, oh, it's probably, I don't know if it's one of the staples, or you'd be like, oh, what are the staples? McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Taco Bell. Oh, okay, maybe like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC might be like the top three, and then you get like the next level down and being like, what are like the secondary, also pretty big fast food places. You might be like Wendy's, Jack in the Box, In-N-Out, Taco Bell. I don't know, Chipotle. There's something I'm not that great with fast food, so I don't really know. But in the UK, at least, Taco Bell is still relatively new. I don't know how many there are open now, but certainly when I was younger, there weren't any open. And the first one opened, I think, during my lifetime, and I think it was a big deal. I might be getting it confused with something else, but let's see. Taco Bell UK. I think it opened up in London like 8 years ago or something. Let me see. Locations. How many locations are there? There's actually quite a few now. I'm going to guess that eyeball that's around 50 or something. Let's see. Hold on. First Taco Bell UK. 1986? Okay, never mind. I didn't know that one existed in 1986. At least, basically, I hadn't even heard of Taco Bell until I was like partway through being a teenager or something. Let me see. First Taco Bell opened up. Taco Bell, Wikipedia. Outside the United States, Europe, UK. It was in 1986 in Coventry Street. I had no idea. Closed in 1994. Planned outlets, but only one was opening in Birmingham University, which is now closed. In late 2000, Yum took advantage of recent recession. First new store opened in Essex, June 2010. Okay, that was the one I thought. No, okay, Lily, obviously you can't leave. That was the one I thought was the first one. So apparently there was one in 1986 in London in Coventry Street, but I thought this one, which opened in 2010, was the first one, which was in the UK. In Essex. Oh, okay. You know, I think I basically got like the facts confused in my mind. But anyway, Taco Bell is much more popular now. There's like 50 of them or so. And there's one, well, I was going to say it's not too far from where I live. It's, you know, it's not really close to where I live, but it's not too far from a place which I sometimes go to. So we went there, and, you know, we were just like, what should we eat? And, you know, plenty of times we've been to that area because we watch like movies there, that sort of thing. And normally we have like other food like Nando's, McDonald's, etc. And then my friend was like, we should try Taco Bell because it's been there for ages, and we always say no every single time. And then we went to it just to give it a shot. And you might be like, what's your take on it in the end? I'd say it's fine. It's fast food. You know, I put it exactly in the same category that I would put McDonald's, where I'm just like, if I want fast food, this would fulfill that itch, I suppose. And I suppose even better now that sort of category of food, or when I'm like, I want some fast food, has now been expanded to now include Mexican food, I suppose. I'm not going to comment on how accurate it particularly is to actual like Mexican food and how representative it is. My guess, it probably isn't at all, but it's sort of like a facsimile of it, like made en masse. So, you know, what can you do? But it's we had quite it was quite a small Taco Bell and that sort of thing. Didn't have all too many different options. You had like tacos. You had what's it called? Like the I don't know. It's a name where I'd heard it before, so I was going to order it, but I ordered something else instead. It's like, oh, Crunchwrap Supreme. Is that it? I can't really recall. It was sort of like hexagonal, and I saw it on the menu, and I was like, oh, this is a thing I've like heard so much about, and I proceeded not to order it because, you know, I didn't really want it. But maybe next time I get to Taco Bell, I'll give it a shot. Because you might be like, what do you think about Mexican food in general? I haven't had actually like proper Mexican food. Like obviously I haven't been to Mexico, but I haven't even gone to like a good Mexican restaurant before. But my experience in Mexican food have been like, you know, if it's in like a buffet area or something, or like in like a canteen lunch or something, or like those make at home El Paso packs, whatchamacallit. And generally I actually quite like it, you know. I like the taste of Mexican spice. Actually, it's probably one of my favorite spice sort of tastes. You know, the way that Mexican food tastes spicy is very different from the Indian sort of spicy, very different from the Chinese, very different from the Korean sort of spicy. It's all, you know, they've got all sorts of different flavours in them, right? I am aware I'm talking about food again, but despite the fact I'm not a foodie, but you know, food is just sort of ubiquitous. It's easy to talk about, I suppose. So yeah, I genuinely, I say I genuinely do like it. I'm generally pretty okay with it, you know. And I put it along with all the other foods I ever eat, where I'm just like, yeah, I'd eat this if you gave it to me, and I wouldn't complain or anything like that. And yeah, along with like 90% of other foods I've ever eaten. But yeah, but there's one food I do like with enchiladas. Like, and I know it's not going to be like particularly accurate to what enchiladas probably actually taste like, whatever. But I do quite like the El Paso enchiladas, and they were certainly one of my favorite foods when I was growing up. I mean, like, what's not to like? It's like chicken and cheese with good flavouring on them. Like, that's just delicious. That's a fantastic combination right there. Like who wouldn't love something like that? Is basically, I suppose, the long and short of what I wanted to say was. So I like enchiladas. It's a shame that at least in the UK, Taco Bell doesn't have enchiladas. They had the Crunchwrap Supreme, they had tacos, burritos, and quesadillas. And I ordered a quesadilla. And you might be like, a quesadilla? Why do you order a quesadilla? Well, I ordered a quesadilla because I'd never had a quesadilla before. I didn't really know what they were, except for they were like super cheesy. And I was like, I like cheese. Why not order them? As far as I can tell, they're basically a tortilla wrap with like a spiced chicken in them. I guess it doesn't have to be chicken necessarily, but at least mine one was chicken with cheese folded over, and I don't know if it's like grilled or whatever, or like cooked in some facility or capacity, and then, you know, that's basically it. And I ate it and I was like, this is demonstrably fine. It reminded me actually of like a school I used to have, a lunch I used to have back at my school canteen, which were called pizza wraps, which are basically, again, just tortilla wraps with cheese, tomato sauce in them. And I think that was it. And I used to have them all the time when I was younger. Like, there used to be £1 a pizza wrap, and I used to have like 3 of them sometimes at lunch. But it's like, that really brings me back, I'm not gonna lie. Nowadays I probably like £1.50, because I remember when I was at school they raised the price to like £1.10 by the time I left school, or maybe even £1.20 by the time I left school. Things got more and more expensive. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know, I like it. So, you know, eating it is sort of just like, wow, this is a bit of a throwback, and it's not bad. It's fine, is what I'd say. You know, it's fast food. I'm not going to be like, whoa, oh, what? This isn't like Michelin star food. I can certainly see myself, you know, being like, I need a quick meal. Nom nom nom. Good to go. I will say the chips are actually quite nice. The chips, salty, you know. I put them in the same category I put Five Guys chips in, where I'm like, this is delicious to me, because, you know, I wouldn't say, okay, maybe not delicious. Let's not go that far. They're tasty to me because they're like seasoned. I would say probably a bit far on the salty side, but maybe not as far as Five Guys are. And you know, I like seasoned chips. I don't know, what can I say? Why just have plain chips when you can have like cheese? You can have like chili on them, and garlic, you have all this like fun powders and whatever on them, and yeah, they're actually like pretty good. I would dare say they are probably up there for like one of my favourite fast food chips. You might be like, what else is up there? Well, like fast food chips, what else is up there? Obviously Taco Bell's up there. I would say Five Guys is still up there, despite the fact that they do feel quite unhealthy eating and are incredibly salty, but I still do quite like them. Nando's peri peri chips are definitely up there. And KFC, the only contender up there as plain chips. You might be like, what about McDonald's? You know, well, I used to really like McDonald's chips when I was younger, but I'm pretty sure they've gotten worse over the years, and they're not as good anymore. And nowadays, you know, McDonald's chips are just mid-tier. What about Burger King chips? Burger King chips, I don't really remember what they're like, but I'm sort of like, meh about them. Best based, and you know, Nando's chips are fine when they're plain, but you know, the peri peri powder is just kind of where it's at. Yeah, and I don't know what else to say. It's just like, I'm not going to be like, wow, it's like Taco Bell's so much better than I thought it was. Taco Bell was basically exactly what I thought it was. It was just like, it's fast food, Mexican cuisine. Fast food Mexican. That's about it. And, you know, I don't know what else I expected. That is basically what I expected. So, you know, I ate it and I was like, well, okay. You know, the main meal is a bit worse than I expected and the chips are a bit better than I expected. That's about it. You might be like, did you have a drink? I didn't. I had one of the meals or combo deals or whatever, but I gave a drink to a friend because I was like, I don't want to drink. And I was like, do you want a drink? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, gave it to him. He, I don't know, got Pepsi or something. But yeah, I mean, I would go back there. I mean, that's not saying much because there's so many like fast food places I would go back to, but there is one place I would not go back to. And not only is it because I was like slightly like whelmed by, you know, the food there, it was actually a place that my friends did not like. So I was like, there's no reason for me ever to go there. As I say, I eat out of practicality. So, you know, basically I'm just sort of like, hey friends, where do you want to go? And they'll be like, we want to go here. And I'll be like, fantastic, let's go. And then we go there. Because as I said before multiple times, and you know, someone, a viewer rightfully brought up, or dealing, as I should say, as in, you know, combination of dear and darling. I don't know why I'm trying to make like a fandom name, but there you go. A dealing brought up that you sure do talk about food a lot for someone who doesn't really care about food and eats mainly out of practicality. Very true, very true. You know, I can't fault you on that, but it's just food. Food is, I guess, it's just so pervasive, so always there in everyone's lives, and it's something which everyone can relate to, so I find it very easy to talk about. Without having to, you know, I don't have to be like, oh, this is what food is, like, oh, this is what, like, you know, beef mince is or something. Everyone knows what beef mince is. That's probably why I do so often. And yeah, and it's also because my friends, you know, quite like food and trying new food and that sort of thing. So, you know, often, you know, I hang out with my friends, unsurprisingly, so we go eat food. There was no, like, better way I can put it. But yeah, so I can't remember what my friend had, like 2 tacos and also a quesadilla and some cinnamon twists. The cinnamon twists, I would say, were not very interesting. I would say, I'd say them as subpar compared to the other food. I assume what they're meant to be is like a very how I describe them is it kind of tastes like prawn crackers, except for instead of being prawn flavoured, they were cinnamon flavoured. I'm not like a huge fan of prawn crackers in the first place. You're like, well, aren't you Chinese? Yeah, but like, that's just kind of like, I mean, I like crisps, which is a weird thing, but I don't know why prawn crackers. I'm just like, it just doesn't tickle my fancy all that much. But yeah, what was I going to say? The cinnamon twists were meh, I would say. You know, I would prefer churros over cinnamon twists. Is probably what I'd say. I didn't have tacos. I don't remember what my other friend got. I think my other friend got like a burrito or something. Maybe other tacos. I don't really know. But the quesadilla was fine. I would say. You know, it's basically, you know, Taco Bell. It's I would get it at the same time I would get like food truck sort of food, where I'm like, either my friends want to get it or I'm drunk. Maybe. Because, you know, it was certainly a very common thing in university or college. If you haven't gone yet, then, you know, and you are the type to partake in these sort of social activities, and you're okay with partaking in these social activities, you'll go out, go drinking, and then you'll come home, like, quite late, and you're like, I'm starving, and you'll just, like, buy some food from, like, a random food van. That's how they operate. And it's always going to be greasy, it's always going to be salty, it's going to be super unhealthy, and because that's just what you'll be craving at that moment. Yeah, so I think quesadillas are probably just like in that sort of category. They very much feel like a food truck sort of food, in my opinion. And, you know, certainly want some Taco Bells were. What I'm glad to see, though, is the fact that, you know, I haven't been to many other fast food places, I'm going to be honest. Like, the only fast food places I generally go, if I'm like, I'm out and about, I need fast food, I will go to McDonald's. Just because McDonald's is quick and easy, and that's what I expect. When I want fast food, it's generally because I'm like, I need to eat something quickly. And, you know, I'm treating myself to something a bit unhealthier rather than just, you know, popping into like a Tesco's and eating a sandwich or something. And also McDonald's is genuinely quite cheap. Fast food in general is genuinely quite cheap. But I'm glad to see that, you know, that other fast food places also have that sort of like ordering terminal where you got like a big old screen, you order on there and you just go pick it up. Those things are very fast, you know. Back in my day, certainly when you used to have fast food, you had to go up to the cashier and order it, of course. But, you know, there's always massive queues. And I remember one time during university, like, but being like a huge wave of like queues, I had to wait behind like 30 people just to get food. I don't know why I was so insistent on getting McDonald's and why I didn't just leave and go get something else, but I don't know. But that happened. But now you can just like churn through people, even if the screens do break down quite frequently, at least from what I can tell. At least maybe don't get repaired all that often, but still, like, just the throughput is massive. Like, ever since I went to Japan and I saw there's this place called Ichiran Ramen, which do a similar sort of thing where you basically go to a vending machine, get your meal, and then you just give it to the chefs or whatever, and boom, that's it. Similar sort of deal. It's just like super fast. So I'm glad to see what Taco Bell had as well. I will say with Taco Bell at this venue, the screens were broken. You know, me and my friend, we made our orders and it was like, it's broken, and we were like, all right, I guess. But so be it. But it was quite late, to be fair, when we went, I think. So there was no queue in the first place anyway. I'd imagine all other sort of like food venue places have out. So, you know, it's a great thing that it didn't end up being copyrighted or trademarked by whoever was the first fast food place to have it, because otherwise that would be shooting the human race in the foot for fast food convenience, is what I'd say. And imagine if you're a cashier working there, you probably would like that, you know, not having to interface with, you know, people who, you know, for whatever reason just might scream obscenities and be incredibly rude and dismissive to you. It's probably nice, you know. I don't know. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's really boring, you know. I guess it kind of depends on what area you're sort of working at. But anyway, hey, there you go. I guess the drive-thrus are still you know, you got cashiers on them. I don't really know how you'd automate that, but, you know, I'm not really going to consider that nor the ramifications of that, because that's not anything I'm particularly interested in. But yeah, the screens were nice, I suppose. I mean, to be fair, most places have them now. Like, even the cinema have them for just, like, ordering snacks and tickets, which, you know, I guess is convenient to a certain degree. Certainly getting rid of some people's jobs, or maybe it's just changing their jobs. I don't really know how it works out, to be perfectly honest. Just sort of remind me back about that old video, you know. I can't remember exactly, not old video, it was actually quite a recent video, but like past month or so. It's a video someone made about the advent of AI-based art and whether artists will now like lose jobs, and it made a comparison to, I can't remember what job back in the olden days where, you know, it eventually got automated or whatever, and then people just basically had to find different jobs. Maybe it's like call center jobs, like the switchboard jobs. I don't remember. And, you know, making a comparison with maybe that's what's going to happen to art. I hope not, but, you know, it might do. At the very least, for very basic art, I think AI technology can be a very cheap way for people who need artists to create very basic art. But if you and if you don't have specific requirements of what you need, but so far, you know, otherwise, artists, I think you still got a job. Just certainly you've got like now a different competitor, one which, you know, is a robot, and you know, not to get like depressing about anything, or like I would not be surprised if many jobs in the future were eventually automated and replaced by robots, because that's just how it is. And you would be like, hopefully, you know, the optimistic viewpoint would be like, wow, you know, now people, you know, can spend time doing less time working, or like, you know, people are now being pushed to like different jobs which don't require automation, and jobs which do require automation can now instead, you know, be replaced by robots. And other people, you know, as long as they get subsidiaries in some ways and sort of live their life, they can now, you know, enjoy life more. Of course, a much more negative viewpoint is that's not going to happen. You know, people are just going to be out of jobs, and, you know, tough luck, more rich get richer, that sort of thing, which is like, you know, well, I'm not nearly qualified enough to even delve into any sort of like economics or social commentary or that sort of thing. That's just kind of depressing, I suppose, from my very sort of basic consumer standpoint. Yeah, it wasn't really where I was intending to go with this conversation. I'm going to be perfectly honest. The long and short of it is quesadillas. Oh, you know, actually, it was the one thing I'd say about quesadillas. It's like, I wish I just had some vegetables inside of a quesadilla. It's literally just chicken and cheese. You know, I feel like the quesadilla would be absolutely like elevated, you know, get a bit of onion in there, maybe a bit of like shredded lettuce, maybe some peppers, or that sort of thing. Like, I think that would make that quesadilla like amazing. Even get a bit of chili in there or something. In fact, it's just chicken and cheese. I love chicken, I love cheese, but, you know, certainly okay, if I was like younger than 15, I'd be like, yes, I'm all about this. But now I'm not younger than 15. That was a decade ago, which is, you know, crazy to say. I kind of want some vegetables in my meals now, so, you know, I hate to complain about fast food being like, you know, put some fast food, make it a bit healthier. It's not make it a bit healthier. Like, I'm just like, if I were to have an absolutely perfect scenario, I would put like some vegetables in there, like at least onions. Come on, like that feels like a gimme. Oh well. I don't know, maybe Taco Bell's in the US are much more varied about something, and you have more varieties like quesadillas, but this place only had the one, so what do I know? But anyway, gonna round off this episode here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm a dear darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me, dear darling, Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. Hope you see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.